The Bandit Aṅgulimāla, Majjhima Nikāya 86. During one of his travels, the Buddha met the wicked bandit Aṅgulimāla and made him turn to good faith. Aṅgulimāla used to mercilessly kill travelers and attach their fingers to his necklace. Aṅgulimāla was no ordinary human, but a demon, and for this reason even the king's army could not defeat him. The Buddha made Aṅgulimāla abandon evil by means of supernatural power. The awakened one fearlessly walked down the path where the bandit lied in wait for his victims, and Aṅgulimāla decided to assault him. However, even though the bandit chased the ascetic at full speed, and the Buddha walked without haste, the villain was unable to reach the Blessed One. The path which the Buddha took is birth in the material world. On this path, the fear of death would reach all beings but the Buddha. Aṅgulimāla was puzzled because he heretofore would outrun chariots, galloping horses, and elephants, but this time he could not catch up a walking ascetic. Then Aṅgulimāla cried out, "Stop, ascetic!" And the Buddha answered, "I have already stopped. You too stop." The bandit was confused by the Buddha's words and demanded an explanation. The Buddha said, "I've put an end to malice towards other beings, whereas you have not. You too should put an end to malice." Upon hearing these words, Aṅgulimāla exclaimed, "At last you have come to this forest, to me. Having heard your words, I will abandon evil deeds once and forever." For a long time, locals have pleaded with the king to subdue the bandit Aṅgulimāla, but it was absolutely impossible. Even the king's entire army was helpless in the face of the maleficent spirit of death. When the king heard that Aṅgulimāla was brought under control, he decided to meet with the former bandit in the presence of the Buddha. The Blessed One confirmed that Aṅgulimāla has turned to good faith and desisted from acts of wickedness. Then the pleased king offered Aṅgulimāla food, clothes, and medicaments that are necessary for ascetic life. The reformation of Aṅgulimāla brought great glory to the spiritual power of the Buddha's teaching. The unfathomable destructive force of Aṅgulimāla was subdued by the Buddha's presence. The ascetic Aṅgulimāla restrained his own mind and achieved tranquility. Once, when Aṅgulimāla, who has become a disciplined monk, was begging for alms, he arrived at a house where an expectant mother had been in unduly prolonged labor. The fetus was afraid to leave the womb, knowing that ultimately death awaits everyone who was born. Aṅgulimāla asked the Buddha for advice, and the Buddha said, "Swear that you have never spilled anyone's blood, and bless the woman." Aṅgulimāla protested, saying that he had spilled the blood of many beings. In response to this argument, the Buddha said, "Swear that you have never spilled blood since you entered upon the path of virtue." Then Aṅgulimāla blessed the woman, and she gave birth to a healthy baby. When the fruits of Aṅgulimāla's crimes ripened, he was attacked by the villagers. They threw stones and battered the wanderer over his head with sticks. However, the wounded head of the demon was nothing but pride. After renouncing pride, Aṅgulimāla saw the Buddha in his own purified mind. Thus, the king of death subdued himself. The awakened king of death sang a song of praise to those who have overcome sloth and renounced evil deeds and strive to exercise the blessed teaching. He compared them to a moon that has come out from behind the clouds. Subsequently, Aṅgulimāla urged his enemies to attend to the words of all Buddhas, which bring about peace. The king of death was defeated by an unarmed sage, and consequently he himself, formerly a bloodthirsty bandit, received the name the non-violent one. Aṅgulimāla wished other beings to also choose the path of virtue, to which the Buddha had directed him. In this way, the wicked demon Aṅgulimāla received the teaching of the Buddha and transmitted it to other beings. Let there be good.